My name is Denis Prue. Today I'll give you a demo on the service portal for end customers. So most common things that customers are asking their service provider is to allow them web access to view their services, view the alarms on their services, view the bandwidth provision of the service, and maybe allow them to change the bandwidth, some service SLA reporting or any reports that the customer would like to have from the services that they own, and also be able to troubleshoot their own aspect of the services, maybe like doing a CPE ping to themselves before they raise a ticket to the service provider. So what I'll show you today is a demo of that. So I'll launch the service portal. This is an example one we've done for one customer. And when I launch the service portal, it brings the authentication window up. So the user would type in, the customer would type in their username and password, and the web server would authenticate this user and will identify that this is a customer or it is the service provider logging in to manage all the services for their customer. So in this case here, I just logged in as a service provider, and as you can see, the menus have been built for the service provider to be able to see the services, the customer reports, the monitoring, the on-demand OEM, the network views, and the user management. So if the service provider clicks on the services, he will see all the services provisioned on the network today via the 5620 SAM. All the status of the services are dynamically loaded in the portal to give you which ones are up and which ones are down. So quickly the service provider can see which services need attention immediately if they're assigned to a customer. Now, the important thing about this portal really is not just to show the service views and the status, but also to automate all the monitoring part of the service. As you can see in the last column, by just changing a no to a yes, you can turn monitoring on for a given customer. And once you change a no to a yes, what it actually does, let's go look at monitoring. What it actually does, service portal, it will start using the customer architecture, start monitoring all the alarms that are relevant to this customer and network architecture, collect those alarms, will actually perform all the create the OM tests and perform the OM tests, schedule at given times, and collect the accounting statistics for that service. So this is all behind the door in the background. It's doing all this work. Once this starts to get collected, if you look at the reports, the service provider also generates for those customers. Now let's take the second one here. We'll take this customer here, and then we'll look at the PDF that was generated for that customer. So the report gets loaded into the web portal, and it actually shows the service uptime report for that service. As you can see right now, the service is 84%. It is not 100% because there was some outage on that network. The service portal will list all the outage events, and you will see also it was during a maintenance window from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. In this case here, this is a MPLS service, and each SAP represents high schools. So basically, some high schools were not affected by the service outage, and some were affected. So the service provider can easily look at the report and decide if this report should be published or not. The reason the report was generated because the maintenance window time was not entered properly, the service provider can go back and recreate the outage report by selecting the Create Outage Report menu. It would re-enter if it was a mistake. The maintenance window was done from 3 a.m. to 4 a.m., not between 2 and 3 a.m. You can change the time and regenerate the report to show you an accurate view of the outage. You bring back the report, and then you see it, okay, now it's now 100%. None of the high schools were affected before the maintenance window. So now this report can now be published, so it's accessible to the users. Now let me show you that. If I go to user management, I'm the service provider right now. I can go to user management, and I can become one of the customers. So I'll become this first customer here. I'll impersonate this customer. And what that does, the service portal now switches over. See, this is what the customer sees. So if you get a phone call and the customer says, "Oh, I have trouble with some of my service," you can switch to his view, and you can see the services state the way the customer is seeing them. You can actually tell the customer there are no issues with his services, they're all up. And then if the customer wants, he can also go and do OEM on-demand tests to ping the CPE device on his premise. Let's cover a bit the CPE. So whatever on-demand test you want to run in 5620 SAM, you can do this to the portal. And you can make them available to the portal. So basically you can say do a whole bunch of site ping, and you can select which site ping that you want. Now the service provider has more advanced OEM on demand. So let's unpersonate. I'm going to go to on demand test, and as you can see, the service provider can do bulk pings by doing an add all. If you do an add all, it will do all the site pings to the network. So right now it's using the live network. It's initiating all the pings. If one of them failed, you would actually click on it and see the results in here, if there was percentage of packet loss and so on and so on. You can drill down and see all the details of the test. This is just one example of doing OEM on demand. Remember also that the monitoring has this enabled, so it's actually doing schedule on demand tests to do the reporting. So you can do tunnel ping, same idea. You would go search, you would hit add all, now ping all the tunnels in the network, figure out which tunnel there's problems with them. So as you can see, it's coming back with the results from the router, storing the results so the portal can display the on-demand. And now it's complete. Customers, you can see all your customers, manage your customers, and so on. You can see all the customers that have been provisioned in the network. You can list their services and drill down. Another part of user management is actually the language. So you can change the interface here. So if you have different customers with different language, you can switch to Spanish, and then what that would do is actually change all the menus to Spanish, but it will also change the alarms coming back from the 5620 SAM to Spanish. So the language is not just for the graphical user interface, but also for the messages coming back. You can go back, switch it back to English. You go to adjust, switch it back to English, hit return, and now we're back into the English mode. That completes quickly what this service portal can do. These are the maintenance windows I was talking to you about. There's outage report, statistics report. So basically there's different types of reports you can offer your customer. Let me just show you one more. I'll show you a report where we collect all the stats on a given ingress egress. Let's pick outage statistics report. So basically you can look at the stats coming in at the ingress of a SAP, a service access point. So the statistics are collected by the router, stored in the 5620 SAM, and then exported to the service portal to show you your average, your minimum, and your maximum on ingress and egress statistics. That completes the demo for today. This is just a quick overview of a customer service portal. Thank you.